Hey everybody, Grady at Ross Outdoors, and we are still in the range because we're doing archery things and stuff, and we're going to do a bow review. So today we're going to talk about the PSE Mach 35 DS. As you've probably seen over the last couple of years, there is littler brothers. There's a 30 and a 33. This year they came out with the big mamma jamma, and that is the 35. So it is a 35-inch axle to axle. This bow comes in the EC2 cam. That allows you to go from a 27-inch draw length all the way up to a 32.5-inch draw length. You do have limb options maxing at 80 pounds and in 10-pound increments under that. So 70, 60, 50. And then if you want any odd and end poundages in there, they do have a PSE custom shop that'd be more than happy to order you a bow through. The big kind of like starburst worthy thing in all of this is it's 35 inches axle to axle and it's 3.9 pounds. So very, very stable, large shooting platform, but at a whisper light 3.9 pounds. There aren't any other carbon bows in the market at the current moment that are going to be under 4 pounds at that long of an axle to axle. So very, very impressive. For us, PSE is kind of our hometown boys because they're located down in Tucson and we're in Phoenix. It is a very, very forgiving bow. I've been shooting it here for a little while. Has a little bit longer brace height. You're just over 7 when measured. So very comfortable, very, very smooth draw cycle because it's on that EC2 cam that everyone has come to know and love. Notable changes about this bow is you do get the integrated PSE quiver mounts, top and bottom for your grippers. You do have the dual stabilizer mount positions here at the upper and one down here at the lower. And you have the rigid machined aluminum cable rod instead of a standard bar with the roller glide that PSE has. This does come with the 3-piece string and cable system, not the 5-piece. So it has the PBTS system allowing you for micro adjust, cam lean adjustment. You do have the clip-on spacers, so you're able to match your spacers up to where you can get a tool with slightly reducing the tension on this axle, pull your spacer out, clip your new one in. Very, very easy to adjust. You do have 2 module options. That's something that nobody really talks about. This, because I'm not Hercules, is the standard module option. This one allows you to go from a staggering 90% let off to 85 and 80. You can get a speed module that is 75, 70, 65. I'm not man enough to shoot that personally, but this is a very, very comfortable module for me at the 85% let off. I'm a big fan of it. Not only are you able to adjust your let off, but it does give you that kind of in-between draw length adjustment. If someone wants to make adjustments, if you get into a handheld release or if you change the length of your release, you're able to make those adjustments. Something I'm a big fan of, it's a very simplistic string design, and I know that will mean nothing to most people, but I see less speed knocks so that the bow does what it wants to do. You're not having to manipulate the bow a ton based off of the string itself. The bow does come in at a 330 foot per second IBO speed rating, so not a speed demon by any form of the word, but it is extremely consistent. That's something that I've been a big fan of. Is I'm not a huge worrier about speed as long as when I put my pin on what I want to hit and it makes up for my lack of competency, it hits the dot. So that's something I'm a really big fan of. Something you may notice on carbon bows, and this has been known for quite some time on any of the super duper light carbon bows, is you may end up adding a little bit more stabilizer to it. And yes, people say, hey, that makes the bow heavy. No, it doesn't. I put on a sidebar and a front bar just because I'm trying to control the pin movement. Carbon bows by nature have a less sporadic pin movement. So if this is what I'm aiming at right here, it's not dancing around super, super quick. It's just this kind of lackadaisical pin float. And some people don't know how to behave with that because you're used to other heavier bows that have a little bit more reactive pin movement, if you will. With this, it's a different view, and we have to explain that to people a lot. So I put the stabilizers on there just so that I can not only maintain that kind of lackadaisical pin float, but I can also offset with how light the bow is any grip torque that I apply. Every human being on the planet applies grip torque, especially this guy. So I have a sidebar on there to help prevent me wanting to cant the bow because the bow doesn't weigh anything. It does have a Picatinny mount here on the front. It does have standard sight mounts on the right-hand side of the bow as well. This is a right-handed bow, so lefty, left-hand side. Do have a standard burger hole mount, and you have two other mounting options, which is kind of a asterisk point to keep in mind. You not only have the dovetail clamp that will allow you to use any QAD product or vapor trail product that can clamp onto the dovetail mount on the rear of the riser, but you are able to use the Hamskea core mount system. So you can remove the two screws that hold on the dovetail clamp and then direct mount anything that is a core mount system to the riser at that point. Very, very convenient. Super forgiving limb angle if you're wanting to run more like a limb driven style rest. You've got plenty of space on there to go back and forth to get everything adjusted. So all in all, it's a great bow. It shoots great. Very, very light if you're wanting something that's more of like a run and gun style for elk. Don't have to worry about a cumbersome 7.5, 8 pound bow. Able to keep it a little bit on the lighter side of the house, but fantastic shooting bow, easy to work on, easy to adjust, and I think you can't go wrong with it. Anybody who picks one of these up tends to be a really, really big fan. And with the 35-inch axle and the 7 and some change brace height, paired with the EC2 cam, it's an extremely smooth drawing bow. So now I'm going to stop talking, toss a release on that we just did a review on, and I'm going to shoot the bow a couple times. All right, so now we're back at the shooting line. We've moved back from downrange so that you get a better accuracy judgment than me being deadly at 3 yards. Very, very forgiving draw cycle on this PSE. Historically, they've been a little bit rough sometimes, but now it's very, very smooth. I'm a big fan of the narrower grip on them, also a little bit shallower shelf, so you don't have this big intrusive thing grabbing up on your hand. So I'm going to draw it. It's stiff up until about here, and then it just goes the rest of the way. So it's a very, very comfortable draw cycle. Bow doesn't really want to rock forward or back. It's very smooth. Like I said, it does have a little bit more of a lackadaisical pin movement to it than most other bows. See, and I pulled that one a little bit, but it made up for it because that broke slightly right, and I'm still right in line with that other arrow. So very forgiving bow right there, and then it goes that last about 2 inches for me. So very, very comfortable shooting bow. I think it's going to be a killer. I definitely think for running around the desert, obviously it's going to be a little bit tight if you're sitting in ground blind, but out of a tree stand, whether it's a tree saddle, we don't have that many trees in Arizona, so I don't know the proper lingo for that. But you're definitely not going to want to climb a cactus with it. Very, very forgiving. I think for more run and gun style elk hunting, spot and stalk, coos deer, mule deer, you can't really go wrong with it. So it's a very, very comfortable bow. I just got that one put together probably a little over a week ago. So still getting things kind of finalized. This is just at 20 yards and I was aiming at that target pin. So I need to bump the sight down probably a 64th of an inch, which is super easy to do on True Ball XL products. So very, very tight group. I'd say you're about an inch if I stick my thumb in there, maybe a little bit over. So plenty happy with that, and I'm excited to see how it goes, stretching out to further distances and going through the rest of the tuning process on it. But for everybody we've set them up for here at the shop, people have been more than happy with them. We have plenty here to demo. If you have questions about them, feel free to call both the shops, whether it's the West Valley or the downtown. And if you're able to see it on our website at rossoutdoors.com, if you got any questions, feel free to give us a shout. Thank you very much.